Hello.
Good
morning, everybody.
Good morning, everyone.
This is very exciting. We're trying some new technology. So we've got Hazel beavering away at a computer doing some fancy split screen stuff, as you can see. I want to be quieter.
Yeah, bear with us. If anything goes wrong, for you this the first time.
So can people hear us? So we're talking quietly because we're doing a bird watch. So can people hear us? Can you let us know in the comments if we need to talk a little bit louder or if we need to bring the phone a bit nearer? Good morning, Alicia. There's a little bit of a time lag, so give people a little chance to answer if they can hear it.
Yeah.
Can hear. Brilliant, thank you.
Okay.
You might need to turn your speakers up at home. The reason we're talking quietly is because we don't want to scare up birds, but we also want you to be able to hear us.
So it's perfect time. It's like
Right, so yeah, we'll do a little bit of an introduction as to who we are and what we're doing today. So, hello, I'm Freya.
I'm Alex.
And so we are doing a live stream on how to do the Big Garden Birdwatch. So this is a campaign that the RSPB has been running for a number of years that is a little bit of citizen science. So it's an opportunity for people to contribute to a wider database of information about what birds you find in people's gardens. So the RSPB make these. Might be easier to lay it out on the table, I think. So you should be able to see that. Oh, maybe. So the RSPB run this. There's also other ones. There's one run by the BTO, the British Trust for Ornithology, but this weekend is the Big Garden Birdwatch, and so we're gonna try and do it vaguely properly, but it's the wrong day to do it. You're meant to do it between Friday and Sunday this weekend, so I'm going to be doing it more from the point of view of showing how you can join this in at home at the weekend. So, yeah, I'm going to run through the specifics of how you do it.
So they ask you to take an hour to do this. So if you're sat outside like we are, we recommend taking out a glass of warm drink or water bottle, and you count the number of birds any given time. So you can't recount. So if you see one robin and then you see another robin, but you see one robin, could be it's the same one that's come back, and you wait for it to land. If you see one flying around, you don't want to count that. You want to wait until it lands on something where you're watching.
And it is important you do the full hour. So it's scheduled for an hour, or you try to, because the point of it is to try and get as solid a block, like as few of the differences, that things that would make a difference, the variables altering things. So there's things like we've been putting a gazebo on and stuff and like moving around loads, and that will have scared off birds. So by doing the full hour, you kind of sat here, you've been waiting. We're not going to do a full hour on the video. We might stay for half an hour afterwards just so our data's correct. But it is important to try and allocate that full hour to make sure you've got everything where you are. It's also quite good to do with someone else because it's quite difficult to focus just yourself for an hour for a lot of the time. So having someone there, and then someone can be looking up the bird while someone else is still looking, and you've kind of got someone to talk to help keep you focused, in theory.
Right, I know, I'm just looking at the bird. So right now, I'll have to say that this is very helpful because from here, it's the ones on there, they're tits, but you can't really tell. Looking at the camera, they're great tits because their head is full black. The blue tit has sort of blue tuck top, which is on here.
So should we start? We'll start. Yeah. What time are we on?
We're almost
so we're starting
past.
At 5.
Oh, my watch is fast.
We're at 5 past now.
Yeah.
Assuming we're slow. So if we start now, we'll run through the hour now, and then we'll talk to you as we're doing bird work. So hopefully you should be able to see the feeder, and you're actually balanced on the bird table at the moment. So we've got some food out on the bird table, and we've got the feeder up. We're going to be watching sort of the area around that we can see. So there might be some stuff that we see. So what can you see at the moment?
Right now, on the tree near the feeder, there's just the one. Oh, it's just
no, there was another one up there. There was still 2. Oh. So that's just, but they were both landed in our, so we can count both of them.
I think there's one on the bird. Yep, so that's great. So
there were. They're very speedy.
I've seen 3 great tits
in one go.
Yeah, they were all on the feeder.
So yeah, you count the maximum number you see at any one time. So if you see 3 land, you count 3. But if you see 2 land and then later you see 1 land, only count 2 because it could be that you're accidentally duplicating it. So yeah, we've seen 3 land at once. Yeah. This is true. This is where I wrestle with glasses and not. So that's blue tit.
Yeah, there is a robin underneath. I can see it from here.
Yeah. So do you want to sort of do that? And I'll talk through a little bit about what we've done in preparation for this. So we've set up this bird feeder in the tree on Monday, and we set up the table where it is yesterday, I think. So the reason that went up later is they were making it for workshop still. Ideally, you'd like to have a site that's got a bird feeder more of the time, because the more that the birds are used to it, the more the birds are acclimatized to it, the more they're going to visit it, so the more of an idea of what you've actually got coming into your garden you'll have. We moved this up here because the bird feeder was actually up somewhere else, but it wasn't a very nice place for doing, like there wasn't a place that we could sit far enough away to watch it. So we moved it just for aesthetic purposes for the video. But we did put it up a couple of days ago and fill it so that the birds can get into. Oh, what's that? Sparrow.
It looks like sparrow.
So yeah, we filled it up with bird feed. Well, actually, that's not true. Before we filled it up with bird feed, we gave it a really good wash. So it is really important every time you fill your bird feeder, just every time you're refilling it, like empty it, get rid of any old food. Any old food, like our food, it builds up bacteria, it builds up fungus, it builds up nasties. So you get rid of the old stuff, give it a good clean, like people put it through the dishwasher. I wash it up with soap and water. But bird feeders aren't a natural way of feeding. Like normally all birds are going to eat things. But by having bird feeder, lots and lots of birds are coming to one place. It's actually quite it's a place where they can spread infection. So especially when we've got bird flu outbreaks going on with birds. And there's other fungus and bacteria and conjunctivitis and salmonella-based diseases that they could get from bird feeders. So you just want to, every time you refill it, so refill it, only fill it as much as the birds eat in a week, and every week or so, empty everything out and refill it like give it a good wash, give it a good scrub, and then put new fresh bird seed in. And one thing we discovered about this one actually the other day was this one doesn't actually fully come apart, which makes it incredibly difficult to clean. Hello, was that little robin on the bird too?
Good job.
It's a little flutter on bird cam. So what that means is that it was really difficult to clean it. Like I managed to get some kitchen towels jammed in it that we. Can people see the birds? Like, well, oh, is that blackbird? Yeah, blackbird. So this is actually, yeah. So it was really difficult to clean out. So when you're buying a bird feeder, I'd say try and choose one that you can easily take apart, because that means it'll just save you a lot of time and it'll save the birds a lot of help to get one that you can give a good feed. This one's quite a good bird feeder in another regard, apart from the really hard to clean bit. It's got 3 different compartments. So it's got one compartment for sort of the peanuts, one compartment for small things like the seeds and bird feed that we've got, and it has another compartment that I think you can see we haven't actually filled up. We didn't have any of the black balls. We've run out of them. So you can put a wide variety of things in it, and we've got a bird table as well, so you can put things laid out. And because different birds they eat different things, they have different nutritional needs like we do, and they have different eating styles. So some things prefer to land on an upright thing, like hanging bird feeder, and other things like to kind of land and peck on the ground. By having on a bird table, more things come because it's raised up, which means it feels safer and less like they're going to be threatened by predators. Alex.
Yeah.
How are we getting on with bird watch?
I'm just very mindful. Yeah, I mean, birds have got amazing eyesight, so you put out seed on a bird table, they will be able to see it from quite a distance, and they will. There we go, that's it. I'll tell you what, Hazel, if you just get rid of our camera, I think we'll still be able to be heard. If you just put the bird cam on full screen,
yeah,
because we're not really doing much. It's worth looking at.
Actually, before you do that, I'll just quickly talk about the birds, and then, or should we just do a break? I'll do that. Yeah, so the bird seeds, it's probably going to be a delay, so it's going to go across the one screen before it gets to the bit where I go actually die. So, yeah, the bird seeds you put out is quite important. So there's a range of things you can get. I went to Hope Bargains, just this nearest shop that we've got, and they have a whole big range. This time of year, it's really important. It's the most important food for birds, because winter is when there's less food about. We've got quite a lot of stuff that we do keep, so as many bushes as we've got that have berries on, we've got our ivy. So do try and save back on cutting back any berries until after the winter gap where there's little food around. Unlike the park near me where they like to hack the bushes right back so they never fruit.
I mean, there are other flowers, but things like teasel.
Yeah.
We cut some down the other day, but it had already been.
Yeah, I think goldfinch is the one that really like teasel. So yeah, leaving your deadheading, leaving your vegetation. We've only just cut it back the other day because all the seeds have been eaten. But the longer you leave it, it may look like it's died back, the flowers are gone, but it's great food for birds. But what we've got just to supplement it, because there's not much about, is we've got a range of different things. So instead of getting the big bulk bags of just cheapo bird seed, you want to be a little bit cautious if you want it to be. Yeah, cool. So you want to choose something that's got low wheat. You can have some wheat in it, but a lot of the littler birds don't eat it. Things like lentils and stuff, they're not great for the little birds. They just tend to be cheap bulking agents that they put into feed. But yeah, so we've got some mealworms. So these are great.
Oh,
they've actually got a nice little guide so you can put them on the ground, the table, or in a feeder. So mealworms, they come from a meal beetle. They're basically dried larvae.
Where's the camera? My hand is very dark. There's some on my hand anyway. Mealworms.
So yeah, these are little larvae wheat, which they've tried. They're really rich in protein, they're really rich in energy. We've got peanuts, which are really, like this time of year, it's really important to get them in high fat, because they're really high in nutrients, because the birds burn so much energy to be warm, so that they're able to constantly eating. Sorry, we are via phone. We just scared birds away from it.
Oh, so you should say about cats. So neighbourhood cats are the bane of any ornithology. So people that study birds absolutely hate pet cats because they have kind of, yeah, I'd imagine there was quite a big din for bird population, garden birds, when cats were.
Oh yeah, but if you look at the statistics of the impact they have.
And it's one of the main things is hanging bird feeders. They're obviously a cat can't get up. I mean, they can climb trees, but they're a lot less likely to get up to a hanging bird feeder. And you can also buy things like window boxes. So they sort of stick on your window. They're transparent plexiglass box that you put the seed in. So it is like a bird table, so it's flat, and then you can see birds when they come. Yeah, and a cat is a lot less likely.
Another thing is to put the bird table surrounded by things that might put off a cat. So if you put it in the middle of spike bushes, then the birds will be able to get in by flight, but the cat won't necessarily want to sit in the little spike bush trying to catch the bird. So yeah, building a little ground level fence against the, and you can even have that spiky bush with one with red berries that will attract the birds.
Oh, and if you're worried about squirrels, well, so we're filling up our bird feeder with seeds and things, but small little mammals like squirrels and rats and stuff, they might get to it. So one tip is you can put chili seeds in, or like dried chili flakes, because evolutionary birds, they haven't developed the same things that we have, where chilies are spicy to us and we're mammals. So you can put in things that would deter rats and squirrels, because I don't think they like having their mouth on fire, but it doesn't affect birds.
Yeah, or you can do what? Have a look on YouTube, and there's just loads of basic videos where people have tried to.
Yes, I think that's the same one.
Try to get rid of squirrels, which means they just build salt courses. Just Google salt courses for squirrels, and there's some pretty amazing videos.
I think I watched one for like half an hour. Not even, yeah.
The squirrels will always win. Squirrels are very, very clever.
If you've got one of the pole bird feeders, you can put some fat on the pole, like some oil or grease or something, and then it's harder for the squirrels to climb up. There's some quite funny videos.
Upside down pans and things as well at the base of the pole. Squirrel baffles. So, yeah, I don't know if they'd stop cats as well. Okay, back to bird seed, then as we go across, just zooming in on the table. So we've got Niger seeds, we've got sunflower hearts, and then we've got this, which is sort of the ultimate winter mix.
Does that has fat in it?
It does. It has some little suets, little red suet pellets in it, and it does have a little bit of cut wheat in it, but it is cut up fine and there's not much of it. Ideally, you try and avoid wheat to an extent, but I mean, it's in loads of things. If you buy beef suet, that's half made of wheat. So, you know, if you're just doing baffle, no wheat in the actual grain, the suet itself has wheat. So, yeah.
Speaking of squirrels,
it's got some berries in it, it's got some fruits in, and we've just got. Oh, is there a squirrel?
There is a squirrel. You won't be able to see it on the camera, but there's a squirrel knocking about the woods just behind. There you go. Oh, I hope. Right. So, can you see it? It's on the tree now.
Which tree?
It's climbing up.
Oh!
There you go. So that is a squirrel, and we will watch.
Is it going to do it?
Hold on. So right now, if we put chili in there, we didn't, but it would scare off the squirrel.
Cheeky little so-and-so.
I might clap my hands up.
I know, I want to see. I want to look. Oh.
Look at that. There you go. So it's gone straight for the peanuts.
Someone could do a better job of taking that bird feeder apart than we did.
We might get a robin might come and try and scare it off.
Yeah, let's hope it's bird like.
So I mean, we can talk a little bit about birds. So robins, really popular bird.
Oh yeah,
Everybody knows
the
robins,
British
robin
national
redbreast.
bird. How many blues was that?
I think that was 4.
I think that was 4.
Yeah.
One.
So robins, they're very territorial. They're quite solitary. You only ever see them together when it's mating season or fledging. I think you saw 2
Yeah.
flirting the other day, didn't you?
Yeah, 2 on my allotment. There were 2 robins. There's this. We think the bigger one is the male. The male one's been kind of holding the territory, so it's quite big. Like I think the male. The only reason it's big is because it's fatter, basically, because it's been eating all the worms that we've been digging up. It's been holding the territory on the allotment, which is a really good territory to have because human digging provides a lot of food for robins. But there's a little one that's appeared in the last few days that we think is a female that's quite skinny. So I think she's going to fatten up, and so they're not breeding yet. This is kind of the stage where they start to investigate mates. They
Socialise.
Investigate nesting sites. Start to think about nesting. Which means if you have a bird box, get it up as soon as possible. Like this is like realistically, you want to have had it up. In an ideal world, I would get my bird boxes up sort of autumn time, because what that means is it provides a place for birds to roost over winter. So I
might try and scare it off.
Bird bite, bird bite, bird bite. Blackbird be squirrel. It's scaring all the birds off.
Yeah, hold on.
But then yeah, we see you. Oi.
Just listen.
So, I love squirrel. And then no birds ever came back. So yeah, if you get your bird boxes up in autumn, then what that means is that you can they can have a place to roost. So birds don't nest until the spring, but they do still need a place to go. They need a place to shelter. They need a place to roost, and which is most important in winter. So by putting up winter, birds sort of acclimatise to the box being there. They may have used it. It'll have bird scent on. The scent of humans will have gone away largely. If the bird box smells very humany, it might not be that appealing to the nest site, and it makes it much more likely that your bird box will get used in the spring, as well as providing a safe haven for the birds. Ooh, what's that mean? Oh, that's 2 birds.
2.
So it provides. Sorry, they were on the ground, so you couldn't see them.
That's gross.
Is it?
We'll see.
So yeah, you provide shelter over winter for birds just before for their survival. One little sparrow. Bring your sparrow mates. Oh, should we put a birdseed down there?
Oh, well, actually, they're coming. So you can't see it. We have a pond right in front. Water sources are really important. There's a lot of big one. This pond, it was frozen over. And the birds, they need drink. So when all the puddles are frozen over, they find it quite difficult. So if you do have a bird feeder, it might be a good idea to put out some fresh water as well while you're doing this.
And sort of refill it daily if it's freezing, break the ice if you can.
Lemon squirrel, it's like backcountry.
I like the squirrel.
That's a great British squirrel. There's a blackbird as well. Oh, there we go.
And you do get a few different types of bird boxes. So we make bird boxes at Hollywood. We make quite a lot of different ones. And you'll see there's lots. You kind of get the more rectangular over the front. That's the robin box. You get ones with different size circles at the front, and the choice of the size of the hole that you put in front of it is that it it can change what sort of birds you get. So different types of birds, they like the smallest hole possible to squeeze in so they feel safer. So different species of bird will choose different sized holes. So you can put a selection up. It's important. So you can put a robin box up, and you can put a few tit boxes up, potentially in a fairly small space if they're for different types of bird, but because then they won't be territorial. If you put two robin boxes right next to each other, you're not going to get two families of robins because they are really territorial.
That's partly why they developed the red breast. Same that the British redcoats used to be to sort of not show any blood. Robins get quite placed.
Yeah,
they can be quite mean to each other.
They can kill each other.
Yeah, and that's why as well when one seems to be really friendly, it's not being friendly. It's kindly asking you to leave it alone. When
they come up next to you and they're like, and people are like, oh, it's saying hello to me. It wants to be my friend. It doesn't. It's telling you, go away. I hate you. Go away. Get out of my house. What are you doing in my house? Go away. Go away. Go away. But I don't think it's in quite those polite terms either. Yeah. So
squirrel. It's annoying as well because the squirrel has chosen the non-camera side. So you might be able to just see its tufty tail every so often.
It can be very entertaining. So if people can't see these comments that we're reading, we're live streaming on the Skeleton Range Facebook page, Hollybush Facebook page, and on YouTube. So some comments might be appearing in some places, not appearing. Amazing. Yeah, I really love that one.
I think we should invest in it for a while.
Yes, see what goes on.
There you go.
Amazing.
That is a blue tit on there. So there was. So I think what we've seen that's a great tit on that tree now. I don't think you can see it on. So.
I'm gonna give that. Yeah, you use binoculars. I really struggle with binoculars because I wear glasses.
You already have binoculars.
I've just got terrible. Yeah, but what that means is that it's really difficult because you can't look in the tree and then quickly, to position where you're pointing. You have to put your glasses on, find it, take your glasses off, look through the binoculars. By that point, you can't find it in the tree, and it's blown away.
So blackbirds are birds that tend not to. Got some shouting back there.
Got some building work going on somewhere, so.
Never mind, it doesn't matter. If you can hear shouting, I apologise in advance for any rude words to say. So there's two blackbirds fighting right now.
Oh, can we turn
I don't. Oh, you could see that black flutter then. So there's two blackbirds fighting over the territory.
Oh, right. Oh no, they've flown off. One of them's won. God, it's like a soap opera. That scared off a squirrel.
So you could, for like a split second, then there was a black flutter on the left side, on the right side of the screen.
I wonder if we can move this camera down, so pointing it that way, and then if we get any long shots.
Hold on. Camera.
How loud? Can people tell us in the comments? There's some drilling going on in the background. Can people let us know if it's a problem? Because it can be really hard for us to tell if it's too loud on the camera, and because the sounds that the mic picks up can be more intrusive than how our ears pick them up.
Right, can we pop this phone on here? So because I was using that to look at the.
Maybe turn it slightly. Oh no, maybe turn it slightly so it's picking up more of it.
Like that way?
So I can't.
No,
It's got quite a long delay, which is quite difficult to.
Yeah, so the bird feeder's in the middle.
I think that's So that's one other thing that might be worth mentioning. Is it can be really, really easy to forget certain types of birds. So there's like tits, and there's the blackbirds, and there's the sparrows. They're quite excited, quite fluttery. But quite often things like crows, magpies, pigeons that people kind of see all the time that they get a little bit less excited, and seagulls people see all the time and they get less excited about. But they are also birds, and it is important to count them as well. And like, pigeons kind of flies onto your garden wall. Count that as well, especially something to wood pigeon sounds that at the moment. I can see 4, 5. I can see 5.
Right, let me have a look. I think they're great bits. No, definitely. No.
Can't hear Julian, just bird song. Perfect. Thank you. Welcome, Boris. Welcome to the live stream. Well, this is a really nice way to spend the morning.
I know. I could just do this, but I think we're getting to the stage now where a lot of them are quite comfortable with the camera being on the bird table, and they've invited over some of the more cautious ones. We can't see. There is a robin sat on a cable that's going to my phone. It's now on top of the bird feeder, going in front of the camera.
So this bird feeder, we'll do a shameless plug. It's a beautiful bird table. The bird table that's been made by Tom and Joe in the woodwork department. So they've made that. So if anyone wants, I think they've made this one bespoke for an order. There's a robin right in front of the camera right now, and I can't tell because right. I'm gonna split this. Oh no, it doesn't matter. We'll see it. So if anyone's in Leeds or sort of in near enough Leeds that they can get something from Leeds, then this bird table, you can get one made for you. You can order it. Say either. Yeah, you can get one custom made for what you want, £40, I think. Yeah, so about £40. A bit of a bargain. And it's made with the learning difficulties project as well. Learning disability, sorry, yeah. Which is the Hollywood project. So they were sort of it's part of it goes back into helping that project. The lovely things that they do. Think of that. So we did in the lead up to Christmas, we made loads of resources for our advent calendar, and quite a few of them were around bird feed. One of them that we did do was the Learning Disability Project made that one was how to make bird fat balls, but not fat balls. They used sort of cookie cutters to make different shaped ones. They make Christmas tree ones, make some star ones. That's quite a nice activity to do with people, with children. Squirrels back. So I think maybe investing in some chili might be a good. But then I wouldn't have got to watch the squirrel. Yeah. So and we've also got loads of robin facts that we made that John Preston made, compiled 25 amazing robin facts. That's exciting. And Gemma, who runs the natural craft course, gardening course at Hollywood, she made her and Harry Skeleton Grange made a tutorial on how to make a willow bird feeder. So if you don't want to get one of these sort of more shop bought looking ones, you can make a willow one that's quite a nice natural design. So we'll run through, we'll find those and we'll share them in the comments after the video, or Hazel might do it now. We might take it, they're all a bit festive though, so we might edit them and take off some of the snowflakes from the sides of the pictures. The Christmas hats off the TCV logo. That's interesting. So has anyone got the best bird feeder? The bird table's the best bird table you ever buy. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's really lovely. And a lot of what we make, so our woodwork, a lot of it's made out of sort of recycled wood. So they salvage wood from going to waste, and we make a lot of stuff. So and we make bird boxes. We make lots of different stuff. And if we don't make stuff, then chances are Tom could make it. He's very good at what he does.
Yeah.
And could make something that's bespoke for what you want.
I mean, you couldn't tell as well. Like the one that we're using here is, I had a bird table growing up in my garden, and the one there is a lot better than what we use.
It's loads better quality than anything you're going to get for cheap or anything like that.
It's not made out of sort of chipboard or plyboard like it's
balsa wood.
Yeah, that squirrel is just going to town. It is, yeah.
Squirrels. I love squirrels. I know that people
I like
get
squirrels
cross
too.
at squirrels.
I
know that they've been massive meanie bumps to the red squirrel, but I still love them. It's just how they move and how cheeky they are. And look at it go, little fatty.
And also, like the squirrel there, you can see that it's just focusing on the peanuts. So it is slightly. There is some competition with the bird, but it's not going to eat the seeds. It doesn't really have any interest in eating such small amounts of nutrition. So the birds can still focus on eating the seeds.
But they're not coming. They've all gone away.
Yeah, I think they've been scared off.
Should I go and do some squirrel bothering?
Yeah. So another thing, if while you're watching, you see a bird coming up to a bird feeder and repetitively sort of picking out a seed and spitting it out, it might be, and you see that on more than one, like it's continuously doing that, and it just seems to be dropping the seeds on the floor, and you're wondering why they're doing that. It might be worth getting some different bird seed, because they can be quite picky, and if the seed isn't just right, you'll see it pick it up and then just chuck it on the floor. They know whether a seed is rotten or if it's not going to be the right sort of nutrition that it needs. So if you see that happen a lot, it might be worth just switching up what you put in your bird feeder.
I'm putting a variety in because different birds, you might just birds, they're very different. They're as different as mammals are, and their diets reflect that. So by having more of a variety of seeds, you're much more likely to get a better variety of birds, and just nutrition wise, the high fat, the high protein, the different sources. They'll just make healthier, happier birds. What you see quite a lot is people have a tendency to put up the feeders in summer, and they put them in the garden, and they go, I've put my bird feeder up for weeks now, and nothing's been coming to it. And the thing is, like during the summer, there's especially if you live in the countryside or something, near a big park, there's loads and loads of food sources available for birds during the spring and during the summer and during the autumn, when everything's going to seed. So like, they don't need the food in the garden, and you're sort of moving around in your garden. The chances are gardens are much less appealing places because they're busy, and birds don't like predators. Busy places feel like they're full of predators. So they'd rather go to the woods and eat in the woods when they can, but because there's not much woods during the winter, those food sources become very beautiful and scarce. That's what I'm looking for. So in winter is when you're most likely to get sort of birds coming to your feeder, birds coming to your garden. There's some studies that I was reading about when I was making the graphic for the robin facts, which were about the number of, I think it's in that actually about the number of robins that come to your garden, because humans and robins are quite co-evolved. They're not just that the robin you meet in your garden is befriended. Like the relationship between humans and robins is so old and linked in with humans and agriculture that I'm sure the same is true for other birds as well to an extent, but robins are sort of the most noticeable. That during winter, so it's in their DNA, it's not just you've befriended a robin, like it's built into their DNA to come to you when you're digging during winter. So there are higher populations of robins in gardens in winter than summer. And it's still I'm getting distracted by birds. There's not many about at the moment.
No, I think every time the squirrel sort of gets scared off, the birds are a bit hesitant to come back.
No, I think it's kind of linked to the traffic lights, because basically we're quite near a big junction, and so the traffic sort of comes in waves where the traffic light goes green and we get like a run of traffic coming past. We get like a few less birds that you have to sort
So
of fly off.
that's a blue tit on there. Yeah. Oh no, great. That's a great tit, that one.
So we've not had a huge amount of variety, have we?
We haven't, but again, it's. I can hear a wood pigeon, so maybe we will be graced by its presence. But
Yeah. And to be fair, we've been talking.
yeah,
Slightly at times distracted by squirrels, and like we've only put the bird feeder up a couple of days ago. I can hear a pigeon there.
so the pigeons are a lot less likely to go to the hanging feeder. They do. I've got a hanging feeder in my back garden, and we do get wood pigeons on there, but they're a lot heavier. Obviously, they're a lot bigger than these smaller birds, so they're less likely to test the strength.
I wonder maybe we should have put some on the board, but we didn't want to get any of our little long-tailed friends. I think that is so. This is something we have a problem. We're near a canal, and we're in an urban setting. And one thing which it's unavoidable to mention, like having bird feeders up, we don't normally do very much of because of rats. So the birds pick stuff up, they drop it on the floor, and that brings in rats. Rats, like I've got an apple tree on my lot. It's quite a big old apple tree. I was telling you about. And the rats climb the apple tree and eat the apples off the tree. They also, I had some food that I brought for a crow that I'm trying to befriend. I'll talk about crows.
Well, I was watching TV yesterday, and Chris Packham was on talking about rats and how they are kind of, they're beautiful in their own right, and
they are.
They have a bad name.
Yeah, like there are a lot of them. I'm not going to start feeding the rats on purpose.
No.
They are part of the ecosystem as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say more of the problem is that we've got rid of some of the things that predate them. So things like you need things like foxes and bring back the lynx.
I wouldn't mind walking up to a fox. I think a lynx might scare me a little bit.
Oh, they're cute. But bringing back. But so rats they're inevitable, to be honest. If you're going to do anything that's going to improve wildlife potential in your garden, or just having a garden, just having a shed, things like that will bring in rats. So the precaution. Oh, that's what the story I was telling. Yeah, so I was trying to befriend Crow, and I put the feed because I went home, so I put stuff I got for it on the roof of my greenhouse. And then the next day I was there, and it was still there at that point. I kept hearing this noise, this kind of bang, and being like, looking, being like, because it was just me on the floor. I think it's drizzly a bit. So there's no one else around. I'm like, what's that noise? It sounds like someone else is on their allotment, and I can't figure out where they are. And then after a few of this sort of bang, I turned, and it was this rat that was doing sort of a running jump and this parkour style, like where they do building running. And skittering across the roof of my greenhouse, and the final time I saw it, it kind of had this massive piece of food in its mouth and was flying onto the ground. And it was like, you've earned it, haven't you? You've earned that. I can't win. But yeah, so that was what I was going to say about crows and hornets are incredibly intelligent. So they learned about which humans. They learn about humans, and they recognize faces.
Yeah, crows are, yeah.
So they're more intelligent than a toddler or a small child. Right? They're incredibly smart. They can use tools. They can solve puzzles.
Have you seen the video there's a video of some crows using cars as tools, where they'll drop a nut in front of traffic, wait for cars to come and run it over, and then go down and eat the nuts inside the shell. They're super smart.
They're not crows. It's not crows, I don't think. I can't remember. No, that is. I'm sorry. There's parks somewhere where there's corvid is the type of bird that crows are part of, and magpies are as well, and jackdaws and stuff like that. They're also a part of the same family. And there's one where they get this. I think it's in a park somewhere. I might be Japan because of the fish that they've got in the park. But they basically go and get bread that people are feeding the birds, and then they take it to the pond, and then they kind of drop it in the pond, and then wait for the fish to come and eat the bread, and then they catch the fish.
That is a bit.
So
they're
good.
They're fishing.
They're literally fishing.
Yeah.
And Oh, there's the well good. So yeah, I'm trying to befriend a crow on my allotment. So I've been trying to bring it. Well, I was taking sellotape off cardboard boxes, kept trying to eat my sellotape, so I was feeling guilty, and I didn't want it to hate me and tell its mates I was bad.
I think
So...
we're unnecessarily mean to birds. You know, there's the old saying like bird brain and stuff for someone who isn't quite as intelligent. And I think, we give them a bad rap because they're actually really quite smart. And they have their own personalities as well. Like we were talking about, like Robin tends to be quite brave and boisterous. And you can see now, these great tits, they're all together. They're really social. You'll hear them talking to each other, letting them know where the food is. So at the moment, you can hear quite a lot of bird song. It's because they're all they're all letting each other know, hey, there's food down here. Come down here. So
we've been talking for quite a long time. Does anyone have questions? We can only see the Facebook questions.
Yeah, I can.
We'll turn the camera around to maybe it's just in the bird feeder phone. So before you get a close up of our chin, I'm going to try and read through if there's any questions on the other screens. Do we not have access to it?
Oh, there we go.
Ooh, is it turned on?
No.
No,
sorry. Yeah. I think they're all from.
So we've got Jane.
Saying Chicago the drilling. I think you might be able to now. They're all just from Facebook.
Brilliant. So now's the chance to ask your questions if you've got them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. Ooh, I'm feeling very relaxed.
It's really nice. I know I don't want to do any more work now. I think we can just do this all day.
I don't know, feeling prepped and ready for the day. And this is it. So we're doing this outside. We're wrapped up nice and toasty warm, and we've got our hot water bottles. I'm wearing 2 pairs of thermal leggings, and oh yeah, because think how cold it's been for the last couple of weeks. Like we've been struggling, stood up and moving around doing these live streams recently. So yeah, we've layered up for this. But one thing that's beautiful about the Big Garden Birdwatch is you can do it from your sitting room. Yeah. You don't need a garden even. You can do it looking out into your road, and some birds will come through. You're obviously going to do better if you've got more habitat for them to hang out in, more cover for them to hide predators, less people walking around. But you can do it from the comfort of your own home. Set up your comfy chair next to your window. You can just look out of the window and you can just see how many birds you see. And yeah, it's just really nice activity, and it's a really nice way to take notice. Actually, you'll be surprised, even if you live in a back-to-back, like looking into a street with barely any trees around or no trees around, you'll still see some birds. And when you stop and you look at what is around you and you take the time to really focus on it, you can realize that nature is everywhere and it does sort of sneak in, and
I think you appreciate it more. Like you start to learn their behaviours as well. Like when just then I've been watching one of the blue tits cleaning its beak on a branch where they do that sort of swipe with their beak on a branch. You can see there's a robin on there. That one, there's just one, and we've already recorded that. I think that probably is the same one too, because they are, like we said, territorial.
They tend to be swabbling, see more than one. And it's probably a different one. So we get one that keeps breaking into the building. We might in the comments we'll share a few pictures of
we've got pictures
of the robin that we keep finding in the Hollywood building. It keeps going in the barn. It was in my office the other day. It was in the kitchen, get the cafe, which is getting newly refurbished at the moment. So Tom was sending us lots of updates on.
Look at that. Wow, it's right up on the camera. That beautiful sort of auburn, like that rusty chest.
Red.
They're amazing. Well, yeah, but it's not just red, is it? Like it's a beautiful rusty colour. And back before they had, because they're beautiful. Like their chests are actually orange, but we didn't used to have a word for orange until
relatively recently in human history. So they're called robin redbreasts because we didn't have orange in our language. Okay, they should be called robin orange breasts, but yeah.
Away buses. We need to move Hollywood next to a left road.
And also, don't worry. We're coming up to an hour now, so don't worry if you haven't watched all the way through. I'm going to go through and I'm going to pick out some of the highlights from this. So you might have seen earlier we posted a video of a blue tit on the table. I'm going to scrub through and find all the close-ups that we can and put them up on. Yeah, pop them up on social media. So right now there's a robin. You can't see it. We have been sat still for a long time. God, there's a robin. Oh, there you go. Oh, that looks right at the camera then. I think we should get a camera that just does this.
Yeah.
Just leave it on.
And we might do sort of, we should get like a wildlife camera. Like, yeah. We'll possibly start doing more things about how to improve wildlife, like later on in the live stream, sort of on how you can improve the habitat in your garden for birds. So we're just watching what we've got at the moment, but we might do something that's more on what plants you can plant that can feed the birds. I think Tom's in a few weeks. Tom's going to do a tutorial on how to. So Tom, who runs the woodwork courses, he's going to be who made the bird table. He's going to be doing a live stream with us on how to make a bird box. And he's going to start making kits where you can buy the kit and then you can just put it together as a little activity to then hang it up from a tree. So yeah, I mean, I feel like.
I mean, we've got 7 minutes left. We don't really have to say anything.
Just check the comments quickly and just see if anyone's asked anything since we said. Has anyone got any questions?
No one said anything.
Have any come up from YouTube?
No.
Is anyone watching? No one's watching it on YouTube, are they?
Yeah, this is the first time that we've gone onto YouTube.
Yeah.
So yeah, but this video will be it will be posted up so you can rewatch it.
And we're going to so this video will continue. Yeah, it'll continue to exist on the internet, but we're also going to be doing these every Wednesday at 11. That's foreseeable during lockdown, probably slightly after lockdown. We will be doing these live streams, and they'll be on different activities that you can do in your garden. They'll be on different maybe little workshops that you can run. So if you are if you work with a group or something, things that you could take to that group. If you're doing homeschooling at the moment, which you know a lot of people are, it's little activities that you could do with kids. So if there's anything that you've heard about that you're like, I want to do this, but I can't get my head around it, let us know because we might know how to do it and we can make a live stream about it for you. Or just anything you want to know about, anything you want to see us looking at for.
And we've got a massive backlog now. We've got over 30 live streams.
That's true. So they're all on. So we started broadcasting them before we had this StreamYard program going. There are a lot that we did last lockdown. So they're all on the Skelton Grange Facebook page, and they are on close to. If you go on videos on TCV Skelton Grange on Facebook, then you can go to the playlist called Close to Nature, and there's a catalogue of me and Alex looking at different habitats and enthusiastically chatting about
just having a good time.
Yeah, like running around the woods going, ooh.
And I mean, I know I'm not tooting my own horn, but I have been told that they are quite good to watch with children. I was at a family, I was at a funeral the other day, and one of my aunties said that she had shown one of her young children some of the mini beast hunts and stuff, and it was they found it quite nice. Was
it the second one with the pondit? The second pondit we did, we got a really nice close up. We should go back and make a compilation.
We'll do some highlights, yeah.
But yeah, take a look back. There's loads of different topics. They're all labeled what they're about. So yeah, we did mini beast hunts, we did pondit, we've done different ones on trees. We've done ones
we did quite a good. We did a good one about compost as well, which again a few of our volunteers have used when creating their own compost bays and things like that.
And now And we've made a few in the run up to Christmas as well, but they're slightly, unless you want to make a wreath now, which you can do, no good reason not to. Wreaths are a way you can sort of make wreaths to hang up, and you can put sort of ivy with flowers in, you can put things with berries in. Because I've been noticing, well, I had mine hung on my door, and birds ate all the berries off it, and then there were a couple left that were sort of hidden in it, and I took it up to the apple wassail, which was on the 17th of January actually. So you're meant to wear like a crown made of leaves, so I just used my wreath and hung it up in my tree. I didn't actually do any sort of ceremony and put the wreath in the tree. Patted the tree and said, "Well done." But then the birds, it had some teasel in it, it had some berries in it, and the birds were landing on the wreath and eating it. So that could be quite a nice way of making sort of a natural looking bird feeder.
That's a really nice idea. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, we're at 58 minutes now. If we wrap up, and then I'm not on screen. There we go. My big head in the way.
So we'll get next week's one scheduled. What is we've got it planned? Oh yeah, next week's one is the first one in February. So we're going to do one on things that you can do in the garden in February because it's still winter, but there is stuff that you can really. February's the month where there really starts to be things that you can be getting on with, like planting things, planning things, and so next Wednesday we'll be doing that one, and then I think the week after we'll be doing one on hopefully we'll get the trees in time. So we've got some of the OVO energy free tree packs that TCV does. I dig trees, which projects give out free trees. I think we've run out for this year, but look, keep an eye out for it next year. But if you've got them next week, in 2 weeks' time, we'll be doing a demonstration of some techniques on how to plant trees effectively and how to plant a hedgerow is like something that we'll be doing. So if you know anyone that's got tree packs that's a bit baffled by them, then keep an eye out for that in a couple of weeks. We'll schedule next week's one soon, so it might pop up on Facebook and YouTube.
I'm just going to do this every week. Don't know about
just the bird watch.
Yeah. I think.
This is my job now. I am going to do it at the weekend at my allotment thing.
Yeah, I'm going to do it sat in my house looking at my back garden.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We should probably stop now.
Yeah. So if this has piqued your interest, go to the RSPB homepage right now will have all the information, and it's got a printout, or you don't necessarily have to have a printer. You can do it on a scrap piece of paper with this just on a screen next to you.
Yeah, and you can either I assume you've got access to the internet because you're watching this on the internet. But if you know anyone that you think wants to take part in it that doesn't have access to the internet, then you can send it to the RSPB by post. I think you've got until sort of mid-February to submit your results. And then, but if you do have the internet, which I assume you do, you can just do it online, and that's probably quicker and easier for the RSPB because no one then has to input it manually, and it's easier for you, and you don't have to pay for a stamp.
Yeah.
I think for our volunteers, we do actually have a load of these on the way, which will be posting to people. So, thank you very much, Hazel.
Oh, there we go.
In the
so the link is now in the comments. Thanks, Hazel.
And there's been some really nice resources made by other TCV branches that people have been sending around, which are sort of things that can make it a little bit more fun for kids, like colouring in sheets for different birds you might see. So if you're wanting to do this with your children and you're thinking they can't sit still for an hour, then there's some sort of activities that we can sort of disseminate that you can do alongside it. It's really nice resources.
I mean, to be honest, just as a poster itself, I have this hung up at my desk because it is a really nice thing to look at. Like, they're really, really detailed drawings. This one's slightly bigger. This is the A2 one. So it's got a bit of a description of the birds as well, but you can get one that's just A4. It's just got the pictures. But yeah, they're beautiful. You can hear a duck.
Definitely.
It would be on the canal.
I don't know. It might be on the pond, probably waiting for the frog spawn to come so it can eat it all.
So it has now been 1 hour exactly. We've finished our Great British Bird Watch. I guess quickly we can say what we decided we'd seen. So we got one robin, again, not surprising. But I wasn't expecting to see any more than one at any given time. We got 4 great tits at one time, 5 blue tits, 2 blackbirds because we saw them fighting, and we got 1 house sparrow that unfortunately wasn't seen on the camera, but it's been around the pond in front of us. But yeah, I mean, thank you very much for joining us. I know it's been a little different this week. It's been a bit longer, but hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, let us know. If you want to see similar things like this, if you've got any other ideas, like Freya said, let us know, and we'll try our best to accommodate everyone's ideas.
And yeah, do just keep an eye out on our Facebook page. We'll be posting information about the ones that are coming up. So if you see any that you think would be useful for you or useful for others, share them around. Cool.
Yeah. Until next week at 11, same time, same place.
Yeah.
See you later. Thank you very much for joining us. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye bye.